I mean, who knew cucumber could get powdery mildew when it's in a contained environment? Hello, howdy, and welcome back to another plant update. I'm Catherine, and I'm the Aerogarden homesteader. These are the new lettuce plants that I planted recently. They are doing quite well. I don't seem to have any. We had a little bit of browning, but it's not too bad. I did start feeding them. I believe I've just started jumping right in with full strength feeds on these. So they seem to be doing pretty good. This is the other one, and as you can see, some are missing. So I took out 4 plants, there's 4 covers in here, to try to give the other ones more space. So I tried to take out some of the smaller ones, but in the end I tried to take out ones that would open up more space. I was thinking of trying to take out 2 more, so I got 2 small ones here in the front, so I thought I could take those ones out, but I don't have room in another Aerogarden right now, so they're just going to have to wait. So either I will just continue this with 5, or I will eventually get more space. We'll see. These ones are doing really well as well. I have been feeding them. Again, does not seem to be any browning of the leaves, so don't know if I somehow magically figured out what was going wrong, or I don't know. The cabbage, I'll back up and show you. It's not taking up a ton of space. It certainly isn't taking up a lot of height, but these large front leaves here do make it a little awkward to fill up the water, because I gotta lift them out of the way to get to the water port, but they are so cool! I just love watching the cabbage grow. So there's that one. This one back here is forming a nice little head as well. I mean, it's the coolest thing. I've also apparently got some green bean flowers back there. Okay, down to the bunching onions. They are still doing their thing. The small ones have not been growing very well. I don't think they're getting enough light. This one I think is, that one is actually dead. So, I'll have to pull that pod. Well, that one's doing, these 2 are doing okay. The leek is doing spectacularly well. It is almost, I actually think it has kind of filled the bounds of the basket. So it might be worth me trying to cut that and use it. The other green onions back there, the one in the back has actually split into 2 at this point, so it's divided. And I don't know what that means, if it's trying to go to seed or something. But I've been pulling off some of the side, I don't know if you can see, I've been pulling off some of the side leaves and using those in salads. So, the pepper plants. These ones have started putting out, well, there's lots of flowers in here. Don't really see, oh, there we go, there's a pepper there. So this is supposed to be the, let's see if we can get that pepper. The Anaheim type pepper, what do you call it? The Joe Parker one, I think. And then the one here, which is a little, it seems like it's a little bit behind, but it's also not as bushy. I think that one's the snacking pepper. And then the, I don't know if you can see back there. Look at all those cherry tomatoes. Oh my goodness. Try to get you a slightly better view, but leaves. The bush beans are doing awesome. I have gotten a second flush of fruit, or whatever we're calling it. I did actually harvest 5 beans off of it that were, I mean, they were ready to harvest, so it's, yeah, there's another one back there that looks like it's almost ready, maybe another day or 2. So it has been putting out more, so I guess there was like an intermediate, you know, a couple of beans that had lagged behind from the first batch are finally coming up, so, and then I've got a bunch of new ones. So, and interestingly enough, when they're cooked, they turn green, so they lose their color. So I saved up the whole first batch of green beans that came from the bush beans and cooked them up with some onion and some bacon fat, and yeah, they didn't stay purple, but they tasted great. And here are the strawberries. They are all doing really well. I was a little surprised, but this one in the back, it finally started growing, so I don't know if these ones have spider mites. I'm going to have to keep a really close eye on them. Like I said, I might have to just put these in pots and then put them right outside. So, which means that this poor thing will have to stay in quarantine. This is a cilantro. It does seem to be going. It's growing, but I got some red on the leaves, so I don't know if it's starting to struggle or not. But there we go. Strawberries. Okay, so there are lots of changes over here, and I hope I can keep track of them. So these two plants here on this side were the original plants in this Aerogarden. All the other plants had eventually gone to seed. This was where the spinach was, so I took that one out because it was going to seed as well. And then this one here on the edge is one from the new batch of lettuce that I have put in here. It's got a little bit of browning going on, but these ones are doing good. So I think 3 in a harvest is probably good. 2 is probably the better, but 3 isn't too bad. This one, this is a new lettuce. These are the 2 original lettuces. And then the other ones had gone to seed, as did the spinach, which left a whole bunch of pollen everywhere. These ones, I think, are starting to... This one might be going to seed in the back, because it's starting to get taller, and it's just starting to have that characteristic. So this one's still staying kind of squat, but this one has been... I don't know if you can tell, but it's developing like a stalk and it's growing higher. So this is the kale, just doing great. It's starting to get really close to the light, but it's still staying pretty compact. I do have some yellowing of the leaves, so I don't know if I'm just not feeding it enough, but I've still been harvesting from it. I don't know if at some point I might have to come in here and pinch off the top so that it doesn't keep growing up. We'll see. Still play that one by ear. There's been some changes on this one too. So this one used to have 3 in it, but I took the one in the middle out because it was starting to go to seed. It was doing a weird thing where it was, maybe I can show you on this one, but it was going bushy. It was growing leaves in between sections and growing out in weird directions. So that one had to come out. I think 2 in a sprout is probably a good number as long as they're not super bushy. So these ones are doing well. On to the bronze romaine. I have actually started harvesting from them. So I've been taking a few of the lower ones off. I've been trying to also pinch off some of these ones that are just going brown and crunchy on the edges, but a few of them I have been leaving. Now, it does have a stalk in it, and it does remind me of it going to seed, but it's like, I don't know. So I've been trying to harvest from it and get it used up. This one actually looks like it's got 2 heads forming in it. Weird. It's split. I don't know if you can see that. So there's like, there's a split in the stem, and it's got 2 heads going on. Oh, that's weird. Okay, well, they're all they're not splitting, but they're all kind of doing that thing where they're just all growing extra tall. It's also interesting that it's not turning red where it's been protected by another leaf. Okay. The bok choy. There is 1 left. I had the next one finally went to seed as well. This one, I keep checking in the center. It does not seem to be going to seed, so, but they're baby bok choy. They're supposed to only get to a certain size, and then they probably just like, okay, I'm done. So I moved one of the lettuce over here. I don't think this one, I don't know if it didn't like the change, or there's just too much food or something in here, not enough food, I don't know, but it's not looking as nice as some of the other ones, but the inner leaves all look really nice, so maybe it was just the outer leaves, I don't know. Then over here, I finally took out some of the ones that had, I cut the tops off of them because they had gone to seed, but I still have this green one in here, this salad bowl one in here, and then this romaine one in here, so, which again is kind of growing tall like the other ones. But all the lettuce looks good. I've been getting lots of lettuce, so I've been able to, with the amount I've got, and not harvesting from the new lettuce, I have been able to have basically a small side salad every day, or I can sometimes pull off a larger, you know, like dinner salad or you know, full-on meal salad out of them if I'm supplementing with, you know, like bok choy and things. This bok choy, which was the one with the mustard greens, is doing really well. It has not gone to seed yet either, and interestingly enough, this one's a shorter one compared to the other one. So, I gotta pull out some of these orange leaves, or yellow leaves. And then back here is one more of the new lettuce just to give it extra space. So like I said, if you can see, I've got that one in the back corner, and then this one up here in the front corner, and they've got a decent amount of space between them, and it looks like it's doing pretty good. I think that it's got a little bit of, really hard to tell with these red ones, but a little bit of browning along the edges, but it's kind of on the lower leaves, and it seems like it's doing really well. This one, I feel like some of these new ones I can almost start harvesting from, like this one. So we will see, we'll play that by ear. More kale. Ooh, I might have to put the light up soon. This one, again, I'm still kind of getting yellowing on the leaves. I might have to just try putting the feeding up. So this one's getting 10 ml of stock solutions, of each stock solution. So I might try to go through and maybe try giving it 12 and see. But these are the bottom leaves, so I don't know if, you know, maybe they just should just get pulled off. And then, I don't know if you remember, but I pruned the basil, and it just bushed out like I wanted it to. It is looking so much better. I'm probably going to give it another, I might give it another week or half a week or something, and then I'll go through and I'll just start pruning out some of these leaves, because that'll help with the growth as well. I might start pinching tops. I'm probably at the point where if I wanted to use some of this, I could. I do need to pay attention and make sure that it's not going to seed or anything. I do have a few chive seeds started coming up. I don't know if anyone cares about these, if they want to follow this or not. Strawberry plants, those little ones that I picked out of the pot, they don't seem to be doing very well. I know you can't see anything, but I find like every time I lift the lid up, I get water going everywhere. So I get a couple of chives going on in there. And then these ones, it's like they turned red. There's like a few leaves. I took the dome off for a little bit, and then I ended up putting it back on because they seemed like they were getting too dry too fast. So we'll just leave that on for now. They're small enough. The cumin is doing awesome. So it looks like just about all of the flowers have done their thing. I came through and I tapped them as best I could. So a lot of them look nice and plump. So at this point we are just waiting for them to dry up. The one upstairs has been, it's still going, it's super dry at this point, and I'm just waiting for them to start drying out fully. It did go through a phase where it was guzzling lots of water, so this one's guzzling a lot of water right now, but that will taper off soon. There's still a few flowers in there. That'll taper off soon, and then it'll just start drying off and dying back. But I don't know if I can show you how big and bushy this has gotten. And I've only got 3 of the pods in there, so it's only half of the harvest. But yeah, it's quite bushy. That's also as high as it'll go. So yeah, it will take over a harvest. It definitely took over the sprout. It will take over the harvest. I'm not sure that it's necessary to put it in a bounty. I think it'll do fine in a sprout and a harvest. It's just you'll have to keep an eye on how many plants you're actually putting in. So let's go down and see the leeks. So again, they're sort of behind the other one, but that's okay. I do still have some of the outer leaves will kind of die back and just need to be pulled off. So, but they're doing well. It would be nice if they'd just all come up at once and I can make like a big pot of soup or something. Or, although having them come up one at a time is also handy, so I don't get overwhelmed. The celery, still doing its thing where it's hollow in spots, but you know, I still just go through and eat it. I also try to go through and pull out some of the yellow ones, which happens every once in a while. The cucumber, I don't know how much longer this is going to go, actually. Not only is it quite messy, but I had a really bad powdery mildew issue with the leaves. So I ended up coming through yesterday and taking out so many of the leaves, and still some of the leaves that I probably should have taken out, I ended up leaving because I didn't want to completely denude the plant. And you can see that there's actually powdery mildew on the stems as well, the vines. But I've got that cucumber there and kind of waiting for it to come up and finish up. I've got this one here, which is really close, but it has powdery mildew powder on it. So hopefully that won't affect the cucumber. Trying to get around this trellis. And there's this one here that's really oddly shaped. I'm not sure it's actually going to make it, but I'm going to try to hold out for those two if I can. And yeah, There's others that have been pollinated, I just don't think it's going to make it. So, it's a bit sad, but it kind of is what it is. Now, I mean, that's just, I didn't think cucumber would get powdery mildew inside, so it's, I mean, who knew cucumber could get powdery mildew when it's in a contained environment? But now we know. Okay, the other celery, which I've been harvesting from. I've been harvesting from both of them, honestly. So, they're looking good, but they're starting to look a little thin in spots because I've been kind of harvesting them. So I don't know if I should like kind of give them a break and let them recover a bit, or, you know, I guess it just kind of depends on, you know, use stuff up and then it's done, or use stuff up so it can continue to be harvested, is kind of, you know, which way do you want to go with it. The broccoli. 3 of the 4 are still going. This one back here has not put out a head yet. These ones, they keep putting out these side shoots like they're supposed to. So I don't know if you can see how it does it, but it puts out a little side shoot between each branch and the main stem. And then it just goes up tall. And I don't know how far back to cut it, so I've just been kind of trying to cut at the head part so that it can continue putting out new side growth. So I kind of end up with all these tall little spears. It's kind of odd. So, the pepper plant. I still do not have a ripe pepper. I mean, I guess I could technically eat some of these, but these stacking peppers, they get pretty good when they're ripe, because they sweeten up more. But I guess technically I could just eat them. And then these ones, never did figure out for sure which one was which, but, and the one in the back, I don't know if I can, those ones are supposed to be baby bells, I thought, but I don't know if you can see them. There's one here, and then there's one right behind it. Kind of hard to reach through. There's lots of the ones in the middle, which I still need to figure out what that is. I thought I figured it out, but I don't remember. Tomatoes are doing awesome. There are lots of tomatoes. None of them are ripe yet. I don't know if you can see all those tomatoes. Can you see all those tomatoes back there? So, I got a few of the Roma style ones up in the front here. Not many. Not many underneath, so I could probably come through and prune out some of these lower ones. The mini jalapeno, I feel like it's kind of competing with the tomatoes. I probably should put something smaller in between these from now on. But, let me see if I can move this tomato out of the way. So, it's, probably need to put the hood up, honestly. I do have a, I don't know if you can see back here, let me see if I can highlight it with my hand. You can see, there's a little pepper, so that's pretty cool. And again, I don't know, I'm pretty sure by when they meant mini jalapeno, they meant mini fruit, not mini plants, because these plants are not small. Like that one in the back, it's actually gone up above the hood. I gotta put the hood up. This one in the front is, it's shorter and squatter, but it's still kind of, it's like an open plant. It's not as bushy as the other ones. And then this one back here, which was the one that kind of struggled, I don't know if you can see, it's still got one single stalk. It just split, and it's just starting to put out flowers. So this one's putting out a lot of bushy growth between where the leaves, so every time you prune off a leaf, it kind of pushes out new bushy growth. So you'll probably go through and prune out some more leaves, which will open things up a little bit until it starts putting out all of this side growth. But these are the sad tomatoes. They are starting to get a little out of hand, but they're no longer as sad as they used to be. They do still have some browning, some sad growth, but they've put out a lot of flowers. There's even, I thought I saw a little fruit forming on one of them. Man, I was just looking at, okay, yeah, back there. I don't know if you can see my hand. There we go. So there's one there, and then this one's starting to form as well. So I do try to come through and tap the flowers as best I can, because that'll help jostle them enough to hopefully pollinate them. But that is what's going on in the grow room, and it's been pretty cool. So hopefully we'll get tomatoes soon. I could probably, in theory, start harvesting some of those peppers, but I really want to wait until they're more ripe so they'll be sweeter. I like my peppers sweet. But this has been great. I mean, I've been getting like really nice salads. I have obviously bought croutons from the store and salad dressing, but everything else I've been able to supply for my salad from these Aerogardens. And it has been awesome. They have been great salads. I've been making like big huge bowls of salads. Well, I hope you found this video useful, because I've been trying to show what can be done with Aerogardens. Obviously, you don't need this many Aerogardens to have salads. You don't need to grow this many things. But if you wanted to, this is the possibility. So, if you found this useful, it would be really nice if you'd like and share so other people who are interested in this would also be able to find this and follow along. And I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.